Welcome to this review of my Akko MOD007HE Year of the Dragon keyboard. This was sent in by Akkogear, who also sent in the MOD007 Mountain Seclusion board, which is this one that I reviewed a while ago. They're both thematic keyboards, obviously, which is one of the reasons I agreed to review them, but they're pretty different in almost every way. First of all, there's the switches, whereas the Mountain one uses Akko Rosewood switches, which are just simple Cherry MX clones. This one uses Hall effect switches, which is an immediate upgrade in my opinion. Specifically, these are called Astrolink magnetic switches, though there's also a V1 of this keyboard that uses what are known as cream yellow switches. They have a preload of 36 grams and a terminal force of 50, so it's a flatter curve than MX Red, but somewhat similar overall, except the travel, which is shorter at 3.4 millimeters. They're pretty smooth, and while it doesn't say on the keyboard's product page, they're clearly pre-lubed. Overall, they feel like a very generic modern Hall effect switch, though that's not a bad thing. I love Hall effect switches for their feel, and these ones are perfectly fine within that group. The sound is also surprisingly good. Normally Hall effect switches, well, modern ones, sound like arse, but this one is actually pretty good. Listen to this. Even the spacebar sounds pretty decent. Honestly, this is probably one of the best modern Hall effect keyboards I've heard so far in terms of sound. Second, the materials are different. The MOD007 had a case made out of lacquered walnut, no less, which gave it this really beautiful rustic look, which was nicely complemented with the brass-coloured accents and the off-white keycaps. This one uses a more standard full metal housing, specifically it's aluminium, and it's three-colour anodized. The black background colour, the teal-like overlay, and the goldish colour here and there are all done in specific rounds apparently. I like it, it fits well with the caps. Speaking of which, the caps are the only things that are similar between the two boards. They're dye-sublimed PBT, Asian themed with the F keys and a few others showing secondary Chinese characters. The Alpha Legends have an Eastern-inspired typeface, some keys show a Chinese iconography, and of course there is the eponymous dragon on the spacebar, on the left here, on the enter key, and on the volume knob. By the way, as you can see, the keyboard does have RGB, but having non-transparent legends, it's barely visible with a normal setup. Like with the other one, it feels like they only stuck it on just because otherwise some people would complain, and I don't think the board needs it, to be honest. Some of you will have noticed that the color scheme is somewhat similar to that of the Dasher keyboard, except 3-tone instead of 2-tone. Which would explain why I like it though. In fact, I like the overall aesthetic of the board a lot. It was enough for me to say yes to reviewing it. It's not for everyone, I'm sure, but I think a thematic board can be pretty nice if done well, and I think this qualifies. It's honestly not even that crazy or anything. Like I said, it feels a bit like a Dasher with some extras. It weighs about 2.2 kilos, or in imperial units,
how many of y'all think I sound like Larry the Cable Guy?
Which is the same weight as a first generation Model M keyboard, so quite impressive for such a small board. In fact, I'd say the build quality is damn solid. There's not much for me to complain about here. It's just the typical block of aluminium with a keyboard built into it like you see on more and more keyboards nowadays. Nothing wrong with it. The configuration software is online, though there's also a downloadable driver. It's not compatible with VIA, which makes sense as VIA doesn't do sensitivity settings for Hall effect switches, but the website they made for it is fine really. It's very easy to use, I didn't have to look anything up, and it also allows you to do manual calibration of the switches. It also already constantly auto-calibrates, but I think they advise you to do it once when you get it in. That said, I didn't do the calibration until yesterday, and it worked flawlessly out of the box for me. Of course, this also allows you to use the by now standard Hall effect tricks like rapid trigger and DKS, so the gamer stuff is all there. 8 kHz polling rate too, that sort of stuff, it's all up to date. It's got a 0.01mm resolution too, even though it's not a TMR board. I'm supposed to get one of them from them sometime in the future too. The price, like with the other Akko keyboard I reviewed, is a total mystery depending on where or what you order it from. On my computer at home, it's $180, but on my work computer, it's €230, which is an interesting currency conversion, as that should really be the other way around, I think. I got into a bit of a skiff with Akko over this because frankly it felt like someone was pulling my leg or something, but whatever, you can make up your own mind. In any case, it's on a small discount at the time of writing. Overall, hard as it is to discuss the pricing at the moment, I think it's a good keyboard, everything all together. They even do it in ISO. I can't really find any major flaws in it, well, the form factor, but that's a matter of taste, so I won't hold it against them. Plus, I like the look, so yeah, I guess it gets the nod of approval. With the proliferation of Hall effect keyboards nowadays, the technical aspects aren't so unique anymore at this point, but if you like the visuals, it does the whole metal chassis HE keyboard very well. Bit of a short video, I guess, but other than it's good and it looks pretty, there's honestly not that much to say about this board. But then again, no news is good news with these kinds of things generally. That's it for this review. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and following is a typing demonstration of me typing on this keyboard.